Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade, and tonight we're on the red carpet for the New York premiere of a brand new boxing documentary, Champs. We'll be bringing you interviews with the director, Bert Marcus, as well as one of the stars, Evander Holyfield, so get ready for a great night behind the velvet rope. Boxing is such a tricky game, and one of the things that I love about this documentary is we get to see the business of boxing, and it's a hard business and a corrupt business, and there's a lot going on. Talk to me about telling the story about what's going on in the business of boxing.
Well, it's always some good things. It's always some bad. I'm in life. There's good people. There's bad people. Either way it goes, it's all depend on who your parents are, pretty much, because because of what I went through, my son probably won't have to go through it because I can tell him. See, but I'm the first one in my family that ever made what I made, and it did as well as I did. And so, of course, it's a learning curve. But for each generation, it's supposed to get better, and about the decision that you make, and but it takes faith to be successful, and because of my belief in Christ, this is the reason I was able to make it.
One of the things I love is obviously you and Mike. There was an extreme rivalry down. Now you're friends. Talk to me about that friendship and the relationship with Mike years later.
Well, I guess when you look at it, Mike and I, we were both on the losing squad, trying to make the Olympic team. Mike and I trained real hard, and I got an opportunity to see some things that other people didn't see. Now, you had a lot of people say, Mike is not really a good fighter, he's just a slugger. Mike is an excellent fighter. Mike really trained real hard. And I can see where when he got successful, he started changing. But when you change, your style tend to change as well. Mike used to have Kevin Rooney, then he let Kevin Rooney go. But Kevin Rooney was the guy that had Mike fighting a different style, could nobody catch on to it.
He was unbelievable.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but once you make that change, then he became ordinary like everybody else fighting. Because the trainers that he trained everybody else the same way. So he's on the same cadence. So which tend to make Mike a little easier to deal with than he probably would have been with Kevin Rooney.
Getting to see the world of boxing, both in and out of the ring, and see three of the greatest fighters of all time being profiled. You directed this thing. Talk to me about making Champs and showing us Holyfield, Tyson, and Hopkins, three of the best that ever did it.
Yeah, I mean, it was truly an honor. I'm humbled to have been able to work with, like you said, the three of the best fighters of our time. Not just fighters, but athletes. These are three of the most iconic figures, and to be able to work with them, you're talking about guys who have reached the top of the top, but also hit the lowest of the lows. And what drew me to them is that you're talking about guys that are so humble and have the humility now in their life that, obviously they didn't early on, but what's interesting to me is getting behind them and realizing how they were able to become successful and persevere outside of the ring.
It's incredible because we see not only the boxing part of it, but also the socioeconomic part of it. And obviously with Tyson, Hopkins coming from nothing, as you'd mentioned, reaching the pinnacle, but then also losing it all. When you're telling those stories, talk to me about the access that these guys gave you, because it looks like full access was the word here.
Yeah, I mean, the inherent irony of boxing in itself was what drew me to the project. You have guys who are escaping violence with violence, and that was always something that was appealing to me, and that how does this happen, and why aren't there the proper things in place to help these guys become successful? The common thread between these three guys is they want to help change not just boxing, but people who have to turn to alternatives like this. As far as unprecedented access, Mike was a producer on the film. He's been a good friend of mine for many years, and really, he made the introduction to Evander for me and Bernard. And, we did get unprecedented access, and it was truly remarkable to get behind the mentality of some of the greatest champions and realize what it takes, both in and out of the ring.